I'm actually filming this video halfway through the last video.
It's now drizzling with rain. Meeting up with the West London Classic Ford crew.
Just as I was approaching the rendezvous point, Maude started misfiring. No door handles, Lotus steels, beautiful crossflow. Got a couple of mine as well, including the charity sticker. It's actually painted by the same guy that painted my Mark 1. Well, I'm having a break from the healthy eating. Got Maude's sandwich between two RS2000s. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes, and today me and my beautiful girlfriend Kat are taking Maude, my moredoor Mk2 Escort, to another car meet on another cold Sunday morning. I'm actually filming this video halfway through the last video, so I'm hoping that when I film the second half of that video there would have been a bit more progress on this boot lid than what you can see now. For now, we need to get on the road because we're running a little bit late.
So good to have a signal blue bonnet in front of me, in view, rather than the yellow orange one. But that bonnet was painted less than 24 hours ago and it's now drizzling with rain. Now this morning we're actually meeting up with the West London Classic Ford crew, and the last time I attempted to go to one of their car meets, this car blew its head gasket. So we're hoping for better luck today. We're actually due to meet up with the West London Classic Ford crew at their rendezvous point in about 20 minutes. And it's half an hour away, and we need to stop to get fuel.
We have made it to the rendezvous point, and just as I was approaching the rendezvous point, Maude started misfiring under load. So this West London lot are clearly jinxing the car, but we'll poodle her around this morning and I'll take her to my other garage, and hopefully it's just a cracked spark plug, which is something that has happened in the past. Hasn't happened since I've changed the head gasket, but yeah, hopefully it's just that, or maybe the coil pack breaking down. I don't know. It still runs. But yeah, when you boot it, there is a misfire there. Anyway, there are a few people that have braved the cold this morning. Behind Maude, we've got Dean's super cool Mark 1 Fiesta that we've seen on the channel before, aka Smoothie. Love this thing, all smoothed, no door handles. Love the orange accents, really goes with the grey paintwork. Behind that, Inky's Mrs. Cabriolet actually pretty much restored this thing in literally a few days. More modern. I don't even know what that is. Galaxy, is it? I don't know. Behind that, really cool Mk2 Escort, which I think is sitting on Cosy rims. Really nice. A very familiar mint Orion. And then behind that, Paul's super cool, very Larry crossflow powered Mark 1 sitting on the Lotus steels. Dean's got Smoothie's heart exposed. Check out that beautiful crossflow running on side draft Webers. The grey and orange theme continues. This thing is literally one of my favourite Mark 1 Fiestas on the scene. Get a better look inside the back as well. This thing's awesome. Loving all the stickers on the colour-coded fuel tank. Got a couple of mine as well, including the charity sticker. Awesome. This car recently actually went for a full custom exhaust. Ian's just turned up in his mint white Mk2 Escort RS2000. This thing's so clean. It's actually painted by the same guy that painted my Mark 1. It was painted a good few years before my Mark 1 was painted as well, and it's still looking fresh. Time to hit the road, and we'll see how bad this misfire is. If it's the coil pack, it might be a bit better now that the engine hasn't been running for a while. Sometimes they sort of only start going weird when they're warm. But yeah, my money's on a cracked spark plug, but we'll worry about that later. Yeah, she's still misfiring. Big time. Let's hope the head gasket ain't gone again. Well, so far it's just us lot in the pub car park. Hopefully some more people will turn up, or we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, time for a coffee, I think. Well, I'm having a break from the healthy eating, egg and sausage roll. But yeah, yellow Mk2 RS2000's just shown up. Pretty sure I've seen this before. Beautiful, sitting on the wider RS alloys, and it's got a vinyl roof. 3 Mk2s lined up. Got Maude sandwiched between 2 RS2000s. Yeah, Lawrence, who normally comes to these meets in his RS Turbo Fiesta, has turned up in an ST170 Focus today. Off goes the yellow RS2000.
See you in the summertime, yeah?
Later on.
Thanks, man.
Well, yet another winter car meet where not loads of people bothered coming out, but a massive shout to everyone who did brave the cold. Always cool to catch up with the West London Classic Ford crew. And this time, Maude actually made it to a West London meet, although only just. I will of course leave links in the description to the West London Classic Ford social media and all that. They're actually talking about doing their own proper show next year, which will be cool. I'll obviously let you guys know if that actually happens. Now, I was planning to go to my other garage because it's quite close to where we are now, but I realise I don't have all of my bunch of keys with me, so we're gonna cruise Maude home slowly and yeah, investigate what exactly is going on with this misfire.
Alright, so made it back to the garage without too much trouble. I found that if I was easing the power in, the misfire wouldn't actually happen. It was only when I sort of tried to boot it, yeah, it would misfire. So first thing I want to do is pull the plugs out and see if any of them are cracked. Really need to replace this spark plug socket 'cause it doesn't have the rubber bit in there, so it's really hard to get the plugs out. Don't have a magnet here either. Got this wrong sized spark plug spanner, which does have the rubber in it, so maybe we can use this to get the plugs out. That one's not cracked. Not cracked, not cracked, not cracked. Now I have actually just mixed up the order of these spark plugs, so I don't know which ones came out of which cylinder, but 2 of them are blacker than the other 2. So that would lead me to believe that 2 of the cylinders were misfiring. Now, if, for example, it was either these 2 or these 2 misfiring, that would tell me that it's something to do with the balance of the carbs, potentially. But if it's a case of these 2 or these 2 misfiring, that would tell me that it's something to do with the coil pack, because the coil pack is essentially 2 coil packs in one. One half of that coil pack runs 4 and 1, and the other half runs 2 and 3. I'm just going to look back at the footage from when I was pulling the plugs out to see which cylinders had the black plugs and which ones didn't. Alright, so quite hard to see on the small screen of the camera. I'm going to go with coil pack, because I think if it was to do with the balance of the carbs, I'd probably have less issue at, full throttle when, the carbs are essentially just all the way open anyway. Whereas this problem's definitely more of an issue when I open the throttle, quickly. So yeah, I'm going to switch out the coil pack. Alright, so I've got my spare coil pack hooked up and I've plugged it in, and this spare coil pack had the spare HT leads already hooked up to it, so I've just used them and I have tucked these other ones out the way for now. So yeah, I'll just take Maude around the block and fingers crossed we'll have no misfire. Alright, so got the laptop hooked up to the ME100 ECU. Just going to check if there's anything that looks untoward. You can see that the TPS is working if I rev it. So diagnostics over here, and looks like we've got loads of lost sync counts, and that could mean that we've got a bit of an issue with the crank sensor potentially, or the cam sensor, I think. Yeah, so those lost sync count things are definitely an issue. You should only have a couple of those, if any. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to be investigating further. We'll just go to the VVT and check that that's working correctly. Basically, this is the target. At the moment, it's 0. And then this is the actual. So they should sort of follow each other. Which they kind of do. Might have to speak to the guys at Motorsport Electronics and find out what's going on with, while it's at idle, them not matching. But yeah, I've got something to go on with those lost sync counts, so yeah, I'm going to put Maude away and do some research. Just having a look at my crank sensor wiring. I know it's hard for you to see. It does run really close to the exhaust manifold, and I've got some heat wrap on it, but that has kind of started peeling off. So yeah, maybe the heat has got to the sensor and it's on its way out. But yeah, I'll speak to the guys at Motorsport Electronics just to find out whether that lost sync count is definitely the crank sensor or whether it can be the cam sensor as well. And maybe I'll have to have a closer look at the wiring on both the sensors as well. But yeah, I'll give you an update in the next video and let you know what I found out, and yeah, hopefully this won't be anything major. It does appear that the head gasket is fine. The car's not overheating, there's no steam coming out of the engine bay like there was the last time I went or tried to go to a West London Classic Ford meet. So yeah, fingers crossed this will only be a little niggly issue. Now tomorrow I'm going to be carrying on with what you would have already seen in the second half of the last video. I know it's all very confusing, so yeah, if you haven't watched that video, do go back and watch it. I'll leave a link at the top of the screen now. But for now, I'm going to end this video here. I want to send a massive thanks out to the West London Classic Ford crew. Always cool to meet up with those guys. even though their meats seem to jinx my car, I will of course leave all their social media links and stuff in the description. But yeah, if you thought this video was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe if you're new to keep up to date with all my future uploads, and check the links in the description to my social media. I'll leave a link to my own website down there for any of you guys that want to check out the regular blog posts or get your hands on some official Marcus Hayes merchandise. Massive thanks to all my patrons for your ongoing support. I will of course leave a link to my Patreon in the description, as well as my email address for any of you guys that want to get in touch with me. But other than that, until next time, thanks for watching.